Good Monday evening, Internet friends. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett here in the King 5 studios where we're giving you your first alert weather update. The overarching theme here is that we're about to switch gears. We saw a lot of rain, we saw a lot of mountain snow. Now we're seeing those temperatures and those freezing levels coming down. In fact, we've already seen some low-level snow across the region. Snow isn't going to be a big issue. In fact, we're going to dry out over the next few days, but the cold air in the overnights will be getting below freezing. And it looks like it's not just going to be a one-and-done kind of thing. It looks like through most of the week, we're going to be seeing some very cold temperatures in the overnights and not much movement during the day as well. So still 43 days away from the start of winter, but feeling very wintry out there. So let's take a look at where we are right now. This is Bellingham. This is Monday evening, a bit breezy out there. We've been seeing some showers moving through the region. We will continue to through the rest of the night. The wind is the big story. Take a look at this. Up towards Bellingham, you see how those colors are just off towards the right of the numbers saying northeast 26? That's what's called Fraser outflow. I'm sure you've heard the term before. Basically just a very fancy way of saying that the wind is coming from the north and east. And so when it comes over land, it's much drier, it's much cooler, and it has a tendency to push temperatures down, especially up into those northern regions. So Clallam County, Whatcom, Skagit, and San Juan County look like you're going to see some overnight temperatures that will be in the 20s. So make sure you're prepared for that. The rest of us seeing some offshore flow as well, but not quite as gusty as it is up towards the north there. As we take a look at satellite and radar, this is right around 8:30 on Monday evening there, and what you're seeing is those snow levels dipping down. In fact, over top of the San Juans, over top of Saanich, out towards Bellingham, seeing some flakes that are flying. Not expecting much in the way of accumulations, but roads will be slippery with kind of a rain-snow mix, some slush, and possibly some black ice underneath that as well. We saw some flakes out towards Squim and Discovery Bay, and we will continue to see those for about another few hours until this system finally moves out. Taking a look off towards the northwestern tip of the Olympic Peninsula, seeing some of that rain-snow mix that's making its way out, fairly spotty there. Meanwhile, along the coast there, we are seeing some showers that have been moderate to heavy through most of the night, especially out towards Westport and Aberdeen, but basically skirting the coast there. Off towards the mountains, things have quieted down considerably. We saw some accumulating snow, about 8-9 inches up towards Snoqualmie Pass over the weekend, and we'll pick up a little bit more, a bit of a dusting overnight tonight. I'll show you that in a moment. Putting the future into motion here, expecting another pulse of rain that'll move through Olympia, Tacoma, and Seattle right around the 11 o'clock hour tonight, and again possibly pushing some snow up into those same areas where we saw it earlier. By the time we get to Tuesday morning, we'll see some snow and some showers again up towards northern Clallam County there and off towards Hoquiam, and then this is going to move out of here. By the time we get to about 10 a.m. and especially noon, we see the skies clear. Now, on the surface, clear is good, but when you don't have cloud cover, it doesn't allow any of the warmth that we generate during the day to stay in the lower levels of the atmosphere, and that creates some very cold air. Basically, the warmth escapes up and out into the atmosphere. It's not going to be until about Thursday or Friday we start to see that cloud cover again, so it stands to reason we're going to see some cold temperatures this week. Snow accumulation, not expecting a whole lot, not expecting any road impacts, unless of course you happen to be near 101 out towards Clallam County and out towards the San Juans as well, where we could see some light accumulations there. Up towards the mountains, we're pretty much done here. We're just talking about some incremental snow that'll be out towards Mission Ridge, possibly up towards Stevens Pass as well, but it looks like Snoqualmie's done for the time being. Now this is cool. Let me show you this. So that green that you see way down towards the bottom of the screen near Los Angeles, that is what's left of the atmospheric river that brought us that heavy rain and wind going into the weekend. But watch what happens going forward here. High pressure builds over top of the region, so anything that's coming in off of the ocean, you see how it's being deflected and sent down towards the south there? That's the influence of that high pressure and basically keeping the moisture away from us, and again that cold air staying over top of land. Overnight lows tonight are going to be chilly. These are not feels like or wind chill temperatures, these are actual temperatures. 25 in Arlington, 27s in Mount Vernon and Bellingham because of that Fraser outflow, but even still down towards South Sound we're looking at 28 in Olympia, 32 in Tacoma, 27 in Puyallup, and along the coast 29 in Forks and right at the freezing mark in Hoquiam, which brings me to another subject here. Here are the 5 P's of cold weather. We're kind of rushing into it, so again, I don't want to talk down to you, but just a quick reminder here that it's important to protect vulnerable people, especially elderly and people who, well, just don't have protection from the cold, so make sure you're watching out for your friends and neighbors there. Pets, well, folks who own livestock have already been very proactive about protecting their animals out there, but just make sure that you're bringing the cats and the dogs and anything else that needs to be protected indoors in the overnight hours hours, especially in the early mornings. Plants, if you spend a bunch of money on plants over the spring and summer and you're not sure whether or not they are cold tolerant, you might want to check on that because it's going to be cold again for the next few nights in a row. And another thing to be mindful of are pipes. If you haven't already made those preparations to protect your pipes from freezing temperatures, now is the time to do it because again, it's going to get below freezing for several nights in a row. 7-day forecast shows temperatures touching down at the freezing mark in the Seattle metro, and as we saw, many of us will get below that. Looks like we're going to stay in that cold overnight range basically Monday through Friday. Temperatures won't budge much either. We're talking some mid to upper 40s as we go towards the weekend, but it looks like the good news is we will see some sunshine, so at least it'll be psychologically warm if we don't have temperatures to match for it. So basically what we're trying to message is this: it's going to be cold. Make sure you're protecting yourself and staying warm. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett in the King 5 newsroom. Make sure you keep looking up.